sort of the example of it as being a model of urban agroecology. And we thought there's nothing best but to hear it from the people themselves who have been working tirelessly to make it happen. And so with me today is, my name's Amy. I work with the International Rescue Committee. We are kind of the facilitators of the farm project. I've been working for the last 3 years, from starting off with all the paperwork, permitting issues with New Roots, and finally getting to dig in with actually our new farming, our farming programs for new farmers. And we have here Bob U. He is a leader with the Cambodian community at the farm. He's been farming for a very long time and passed on a lot of information from generations. Ermelinda Figueroa, and Ermelinda is our Latino community leader and a tireless organizer. All these people, they'll tell you a little bit more about themselves as well. And Paula Alvarez, right? Is it Alvarez? Yeah. Paula Alvarez, also a member of our New Roots farm. Bilali Muya will be our keynote in the afternoon, and he's going to help with a little bit of translation for Khadija Musame, who's from the Somali, both of them are from the Somali Bantu community, and they're going to talk to you guys a little bit more about their examples from the farm. I'll kind of talk at the end a little bit of some of the principles of agroecology, these new terms that we come up with for basically old ways of farming. For those of you if maybe you're more interested in that, but first of all, I would like to have our farmers kind of get a chance to speak about their role in how they got the farm started and how it's been for them. And because one of the biggest pieces to the agroecology model is really about the community development piece, the community power, and the essentially all the people behind it that can really make it happen. Who wants to start off? Okay, Ermelinda, go ahead.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Buenas tardes.
Mi problema es que I don't speak English. Vamos a ver si ella nos puede traducir.
She doesn't speak that much English, so her probably not. She can't speak that English, so her name is Ermelinda Figueroa.
Do you understand? Okay. ¿Qué pasa, Isa? Ella es una persona que ha estado conmigo desde el principio.
She has been with my grandma since the beginning.
Ella empezó hace 3 años, nosotros empezamos hace 5, ¿verdad? 5 más.
She started 3 years ago, and she started, and then they 5 years ago, and then she started 3 years ago.
I don't know. Ya se enredó. Dice, cuando nosotros empezamos, nosotros no sabíamos dónde era el lugar.
When they started, they didn't know where the place was going to be.
Nos platicaron, nos dijeron que teníamos que empezar porque había que ver un lugar, ver papeles, y pues pasó el tiempo.
They started they teach her that she has to start with in the beginning, with where the place has to go with papers and all that.
Hasta que un día nos dijeron que ya estaba y nos enseñaron un mapa.
Until one day they told her that everything was done and they showed her a map.
Y nosotros todavía no sabíamos dónde era el lugar. Íbamos a escuelas, íbamos a prepas, donde nos enseñaban irrigación, cómo regar las plantas, cómo no gastar el agua. Nosotros íbamos a
they went to schools like elementary, middle school, and high school.
Cómo regaban las aguas.
For to know how to water the plants without wasting that much water.
porque teníamos que aprender.
Because they have to learn.
Entonces, un día alguien me dijo que si yo quería conocer el lugar,
And one day they told her if she wanted to know the place,
y fuimos a verlo.
and they went to see it.
Era muy diferente del que nosotros nos habíamos imaginado.
It was really different what she imagined.
Ya después pusieron pusieron las máquinas y empezaron a hacer las zanjas para meter el agua.
They start with the tractors and they did all the places to plant and with water.
Así los canales,
With the tubes.
Entonces fuimos todos y empezaron a ponernos los tubos y nosotros los tapábamos, nosotros quitábamos las piedras, empezamos a limpiar y ahí empezó la historia.
Like they went and they put dirt over the big and then they painted the rocks and that's how the history of New York started.
Y a mí me ha gustado mucho porque me ha enseñado que a pesar de que ya estoy grande, yo veo que nosotros cuando tenemos, ¿cómo se dice?, alegría, vida, no hay nada imposible.
For her it means that anything can be possible because she can't anything what she wants, but
Todo se hace con alegría y con
and
amor.
everything that's like with emotion and happiness.
Yo. Entonces, nosotros continuamos, un día ya nos llamó Amy y Amy nos dijo ahí a todos los jefes cómo íbamos a repartirle a las personas que estaban con nosotros.
And then Amy called them every
Sunday.
leader, and then they told her how the parts are gonna be for every single one.
Y a cada quien nos tocó, ya yo pues empecé a llamar a mi gente, fue mi gente, ella es una de ellas, somos 20 y ya 20 familias y a cada familia le tocó su parte, o su blog como le llaman, y empezamos a experimentar.
And then she called every single family. There was 20 families, and there was a plow for each family.
Nosotros, a pesar de que nuestros padres en su mayoría son campesinos, saben labrar la tierra, saben trabajar, nosotros no.
Like if their dads knew how to do everything, if they knew how to plant, if the dirt was good, but they didn't.
Entonces nosotros hemos aprendido, Amy nos ha pagado maestro para que nos llegue a enseñar.
They had learned, Amy had paid like teachers to teach them.
Para ver cómo debemos hacerlo. Y pues es una gran emoción. A mí me fascina saber que, como dice la Biblia, polvo eres y en polvo te convertirás, y el polvo es el que te va a dar de comer, y nosotros pues tratamos siempre de hacer lo mejor que podemos, y lo orgánico hasta ahorita creemos que es lo más saludable.
She gives thanks to everything that they gave her, and that how the Bible says dirt you will be if dirt you want to be, but dirt will give you food.
Y yo me siento muy emocionada y ver que esto está creciendo.
She feels so happy that everything is growing.
Y son
Hi, my name is Bob Rose. I'm community leader for Cambodian food down in New River. Well, I'm born in Cambodia and I also raised in Louisiana. Well, choose my accent. Hope you guys don't laugh at it. Well, I come to San Diego in 1995. First thing I come to San Diego, we're looking for the place to farm. Well, my whole generation was a farmer. I was a farmer. My dad was a farmer. And a couple of years back, and I go down to IRC, and I met with Amy. That's going to be hooked up for the New Route. Since the beginning of time, New Route started the community. No, it's just not just a farm out there. It's community get together. We start from the beginning. We dig the rock, we dig the dirt, we dig the soils. People come together and have as a group. To me, Nuru is just for my place, for everybody's place down there, but for everybody can come by and enjoy it. So right now, everything goes very good. So come on down in Kansas and you want to take a little tour down there. But first, well, to me, Nuru is just a place, a small place of where I come from. It's like my little homeland. So where I can bring my own produce from home, we go there. So Nuru is just like you say, all these people come together from the different ethnic groups. None of them speak English. Little low income, elderly, or this mentally. Most of them out there didn't speak English at all. So here come me, Bilali, so that we want to translate it out. So Nuru is where the community got together us like for culturally, as a group. Not just the place where people food, but where people come together, introduce each other. Stop. Sorry, a little nervous. So first time on the front of the group, so don't mind me at all. I try to calm myself down just a bit. I stay much more lively. so where the culture come together. Like to me, I'm a Buddhism. So we come together as a community. We introduce each other. What kind of ethnic group we are, what kind of person we really are, and we talk about like culturally. Basically, most of the time it's food. Food is universal language of them all. People eat food. It doesn't matter you're big, small, old, or young. You eat food. So, what better place than to grow our own food? Organic food. What we put on the ground, we know what we put down there. When we take it out, we know what we feed to our kids, to our family. We take it home to the friend and neighbor. What's the better place than that? To me, Nuru is just people come together to share the idea, share the knowledge, share the culture, share the wisdom. I didn't know what chops grew. I don't. I grew lettuce. I grew mustard green. I grew bok choy. I didn't know what old ground grew. To my country, it's just everything is soil. You dig to the ground, you can see soil. I come to America, I dig to the ground, I see rock, I see dirt, I see clay. To me, I don't know how to do all those things. There's people come by. If I go down there and ask my dad, where can I pick up the soil? Old people. So to these people, it's not like that. There's the knowledge to them. You put a little bit of dirt, a little bit of branch, a little bit of dust, create the soil, Like compost, I don't know how to compost stuff. Where I come from, we never do compost. The land always have soils on it. When it comes to Nuru, people teach me how to do all this kind of thing. People show me how to do this kind of thing. The thing that I don't know. Well, matter of fact, they ask me back the thing that I know. I teach them most of the stuff that I do in my homeland that I bring into America, bring it down here. So the knowledge passed on from my dad to me, now I passed on to people that I knew. Everybody know how to do stuff. Everybody know how to do things. Instead of just be myself. The important thing is we pick up stuff, we take it home. The guy come up to me and say, Lolly come up to me, can I have some of this? And how we cooked it. I show it to him. I teach him how. My culture of food, I will transfer it to him. That's the happiness that I got. The smile on his face when he come back home. That doggone thing is so damn delicious and wouldn't believe it. So that's the smile that I see on his face, the thing that I get out of it. So Nuru is not just, to us, it's not just a little farm. To us, it's a community. A neighborhood got together. People from different countries got together. It doesn't matter who you are. You eat food. You come together to grow food. Organic food. That's the most important thing. It's organic food. Share to your kids, your family. That's the most important thing. So, Nuru to me is my heart. Thank you very much.
Sana kwa kugurana hano na suejero.
That's so far. I thank everybody for. Okay. Okay, I'm more a little bit getting used to it. We have. For first of all, I have to thank everybody here by meeting each other over here.
kwa kukutana katika ipochifunga chilonge ipochifunga kudaku kuletanizi kuletanizi mbuli zetu chikudaku ivana niyo chikushukuru sana wana naanga chilonge kwamba ipo vile Somalia intihano ipo
Okay, say this is a good thing. It's like a good gathering. To come out here to discuss an issues and a problem, and also everybody have a story about background, and that's a good thing. And I'm very I'm thank you very much for being able to come us together here to meet us to express our feeling. And before I go, I want to talk how we came from Somalia and how we came to America and what we are doing right now.
Chizire avile Somalia chizire hanono cha shukuru sana chihokero ni serikali ya Marekani chishukuru sana.
First of all, I have to thank the United States of America's government by accepting us and bringing us to America.
Aikuka kenao cha shukuru sana hivyo chizire na timndani mwezi nyumba nao hivyo chizire mwezi nyumba no cha vizo kuise
Since we came to America, we have been locked in the apartment and we have been chained inside our apartment. But I also thank the IRC organization was able to pull out from outside our apartment to come. Since we get the land, we've been able to come outside and get off the chain from our apartment and come outside and do something.
Kilima chikalime mtama kakila kilimo chaviza kwese chawashukuru sana kwa hivyo na kuda kuambizana na serikali ya Marekani.
There's a long way to go, and I will thank everybody to join like a kind of more revolution. It's so hard and everything was so tough, and I was also happy to see like there is some stuff going in here in a piece of land, like the corns, that's like traditionally I've been able to see that doing it in America, San Diego. But it's very tough, and like if we come together and join and do this revolution and do this talk, that will be more better than other people will listen to us.
Kwao nao chaomba kama vile tuliokuumanga nao chaombeza nao kwao nao wachigose nao hano tili nao watigale kulanga chawao chaombeza hao.
Say togetherness and unity is strength. If we start, we become together and our voice can be heard and we will go far away. We will never expect it. And that's what I'm begging and everybody asking, like don't say I'm coming from Louisiana, I come from New York. We have to join, we have to combine this voice and talk about it, and then we can spread this message everywhere.
Kahana chikungo msanga nao chaombeza kwao nao watu kama vile tupatile msaada kwao chaombeza na tupatile msaada kwao chinuke kuanga kama tose na tukahamwenga na chibuke wantu wajao inuke kuanga kama tose chibuke wantu wajao wakulima na tukatisade msanga.
Yeah, there's more farmers, not only us, not only Khadija and not only Bob. There's more to live in City Heights, there's more people want to farm, and there's more areas open here. So we want like everybody to join and do it and produce more food, and that would be really grateful. And we're looking for more land and more food for us, and not just Khadija, but everybody has to have the chance. If I have a plot and somebody need a plot, have to have a plot. So it's not just me. We have to talk for the other people who can talk, speak up. So let's be their voices. As a communities, as a leaders, as a group, this thing is very important. Like this conference is very important. If we can meet anytime and talk about the issues, especially farming, especially food, it's something really great. I'm out from that.
Okay, I know it's really hard to see, but we'll do our best if you want to kind of crowd around there. We just want to show a short video of what we're doing that talks about agroecology and then I'll kind of talk about it afterwards. But we're producing this video and about New Roots as an agroecology model, and we're going to use it as a tool to better work with the community, because these guys, they spoke up here today, but they're very modest about the amazing role that they're playing at New Roots and in systems and environmental change here in the neighborhood. These people are all leaders in various ethnic communities, and they do a lot of hard work to mobilize. As you know, like, everybody needs their leader to mobilize. We've got leaders even within the food community, and it takes a lot of work to put on events like this, make it happen, always get everybody there, and they are some of those people who are committed, and they've been committed to it for a long time, and they want to keep it going. And so I think we'll get a chance to kind of ask them more questions here, but this video we want to use as a tool to kind of teach others in the community as well and showcase these local examples. We sometimes go really far looking for a model that's working, but we do have good examples right here locally that are working, and even not within City Heights, not everyone knows about what's happening. So we want to use this video as a tool to engage. We're going to translate it into about 5 languages, and want to be able to use it to work with various communities, these leaders, to be able to teach others about their example and show people. So feel free to kind of squeeze up there, and we'll turn the sound on, at least you can see real well. And also, you know, we're very close to the farm. It's just down off of 54th and University.
Agroecology shows the relationship between agriculture, society, and the environment. It combines the study of human use of plants and the study of living things in their environment, seeking to create deeper harmony between the two. Agroecological principles may be observed on many of today's urban farms, including New Roots Community Farm in the City Heights neighborhood of San Diego, California. Farmers at New Roots plant a variety of crops in one space to prevent pest infestation, attract predatory insects, birds, and other animals that create a balanced environment.
If you really want to grow and you want to plant something and how to have a good product, the best thing is like create a soil. Before you think anything, first of all you have to think about soil. When you have a light soil, then you will have a really life-growing, healthy food.
An important part of fertile soil is decomposed plant matter. Composting creates this material by reusing plant and food scraps that would otherwise end up in the local landfill. By adding mulch to the soils, weeds are kept from growing, soil temperatures are kept steady, erosion is prevented, and the evaporation of water is decreased. In San Diego's desert climate, water conservation is very important. Rainwater cotton barrels can be used for irrigation.
If I water today, tomorrow I don't. I put water. I put all the water, put in my basket, and I fill them out, and I put on my plant. Because it saves water. Save water for the city, you know.
Using hand tools instead of tractors can allow for skillful cultivation of the land that maximizes crop yields, reduces the use of fossil fuels, and provides an arena for physical exercise that prevents chronic disease and social interaction that builds community.
It's like when I'm farming right now, I look like I got a gym. Instead like I go like a 24 fitness, I got more health for farming too. Yeah. Instead I pay $30 every month for gym. I came here, that's why I dig my soil. It's like gym.
The community of farmers at New Roots is a multicultural, multi-generational group where diverse perspectives on environment and agriculture can be exchanged. A sense of place is restored as farmers build a relationship with their land. Community is built by the exchange of indigenous farming knowledge and transfer of skills. Farmers live in harmony with the land and each other as a sense of stewardship is developed, caring for the land and providing for the health of the surrounding community.
Yeah. So as we kind of talk about in the video, agroecology, coming from the word agriculture and ecology. And even the land down at New Roots is a perfect example. New Roots is a piece of land right on the back of Choyas Parkway, or sorry, Choyas Creek. So and that was actually one of the reasons we had such a hard time to get our permit. How many of you guys have been to New Roots? Anybody? Okay, well good. So we're going to invite you down there every fourth Saturday of the month. We have volunteer days and we do a tour. So you can come and see the real example for yourself. But that was one of the reasons we had a big problem permitting the actual farm, was because it was next to a creek. It was a part of an environmental sensitive land. And we are literally taking this farm as an opportunity to kind of say to our decision makers that we don't have to just always keep it so separate. We believe agriculture can actually work together with environmental lands. It happens. It has happened in people's home countries. It's still happening there. We can do it too, and we need the policies that could help support that. Instead of having higher fees, making it happen, we should be actually encouraging such light agriculture, sustainable agriculture, right on the edge of a creek area. And so the design of the thing takes into consideration the ecology, the nature of the area, as well as culture is what we've been talking about. A lot of people come from many backgrounds. They have a lot of cultural practices. Economics. Since December we started selling. So actually Khadija has been selling at the City Heights Farmers Market. Along with other people, we create like a cooperative booth. So each person has a plot that's only 30 by 20 feet in space, but still people produce extra. So whatever excess produce they want to bring to the market, we're now bringing to the local market for sales. And so we're linking ecology, culture, economics, and society in order to have sustainable agriculture production, a healthier environment, as well as viable food communities. And essentially we're just, they're kind of a lot of the models that maybe all you guys know about, but looking at renewable resources, as the video was talking about, we're keeping on-farm nutrients as much as possible, kind of tilling back extra plant waste. We till it right back into the soil when possible. We've now started keeping chickens, so we want to use the manure back into, get it composted and use it back to our plants. We work on minimizing toxics, so instead of creating, a lot of big industrial farms are creating toxics by a lot of chemical fertilizers and pollution and runoff. But we're actually trying to minimize that using, we don't apply any pesticides or chemical fertilizers. Conserving resources, obviously, and there's a long list of resources to be had for water, energy, genetic resources such as seed, and managing kind of the soil, as the video is talking about, low tillage and mulching when possible, a lot of hand tools and mulch there. We also are encouraging, we have on site a native plant garden, so we're encouraging a lot of pests, a lot of native, we're trying to work through beneficial insects. So it's a really different flip side where all this came really natural to people long ago and we're kind of recreating it here. And so luckily we've got a lot of people people's different knowledge to kind of pool together and bring sort of those resources together in order to kind of make it more sustainable for an urban society. The native plant area is, we've got encouraging a lot of beneficial insects like bees and ladybugs and all kinds of, we even get monarchs that come lay their eggs there every year. So, and I think the farm is looking at some of the most important keys is really a long-term benefits. So it's not thinking about just what's good for today, but that's when we only have a 3-year lease right now, which is going to expire for New Roots in November. So we are actually all going towards City Council to tell them we need them to extend our lease. We can't actually build something worthwhile without knowing that we have a secure future. Because as farmers, as Bilali's saying in the video, we're starting with the soil, and it's taking a lot of time to recreate, build. There's a ton of resources from an urban environment of waste that we could be using to build soil, but it takes time. And the time, we need to know that this is not just leftover piece of land that you can use to kind of do something until there's a better use. And that's how, you know, things are kind of treated. We want to make sure that food is not going away. We all need to eat. And this is not something just a fad. It's going to stay here. So let's treat it as if it's a long-term commitment that people want to be part of. So we want to welcome you guys anytime. Come on down. We volunteer. Our next volunteer day is on the 23rd of April, and it's from 9 to 12 usually. We welcome people to come out, give a tour around, talk a little bit more about what's happening there, and do a little work in the garden. And thank you all for coming. Maybe we want to kind of see if you guys have more questions for all the people who spoke. Yeah.
I was just curious, when you're talking about this land, is it city-owned land? Is that why there are all the permits and everything?
Yeah, it is city-owned land, and it's city-owned land, and there's a little bit of, actually, if you've heard of all the garden permitting process pieces that are going on, it won't affect this piece of land because of being next to the creek. So it's a zoning totally separate. It's kind of like a higher level of difficulty that we didn't want to go for. We just wanted to ask the city for like more of an easy fit residential and commercial industrial areas, which gardens most likely will be now allowed almost for free as far as the permitting is concerned. But our land still, because if you're next to any creek or canyon, which is the case for many urban areas, because that's the only land left. It wasn't there, it's not a surprise that all the land is being used for something else. And this little piece of land was really a difficult piece of land for any developer to come and develop it. It wasn't really worth their time. It was a very weird shape, and then kind of the backing against the creek would kick it into a lot of money for, say, condos or something else to be developed there. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Would there be a big permitting hurdle if it were just if somebody owned the land, a private person? I mean, if I wanted to put a community garden on a piece of land I own, would that require permits?
Yes, it would. If you are also, well, one, yes, in anywhere, even if it's a public or private piece of land, community garden requires a permit. Now, hopefully they would be able to move it through a little faster, and that's where the money kind of gets larger, is if they have a lot of things that they have to review. But there was even a man who was wanting to put a community garden on his property, but he was up against a creek, canyon. And so he would have had the same issue that New Roots went through, probably at least a $40,000 kind of process. And that's something you want to make sure. Some people feel, it's a very sensitive subject when you start talking about our canyons and our creeks. And I agree. I also believe we believe in an ecological relationship, but I believe that what we're promoting is a farming system that can benefit and not just see it as two different separate things, that, oh, farming is dangerous next to a creek area. Maybe someone can, mostly you'll find farming settlements around where there's water. If there's anything you want to say something about?
Yeah, like it's not a dangerous. We have seen the bad right there. That's a good example, good sign, showing that we are not farming is not something bad. We are creating natural habitat. That bad, it shows something. There's something there they never seen this before. Now they are realizing there's something the nature's been brought back, and they are coming to visit that area. And the day the bird was landing there, I was so surprised. Was the day that they are taking the interview. And when I was talking, I could see the camera person, look, get that bird over there. Then she really get it.
It's a giant, like gray hair.
Yeah, gray hair.
Yeah, it was huge.
So it came up from the creek?
It just flew into the garden, and right when we were filming, you couldn't see it very well, but it was huge. And yeah,
those are things that we need to tell people, like farming is not something bad. And we can be next to a creek, we can be next to something, but we are not doing a crime or something. We are growing food. And this is a good exercise. You see, the natures are adapting, the natures are coming. We have been there for 2 years, and I've seen new friends and families are coming there. And this is the first question I ask the farmers. How do you feel like a squirrel or a rabbit eats your crops? They give me a positive answer. They say, I feel like I'm contributing to the nature. I don't feel like it's sad. They are there to share. We are here in this world to share and exchange. So if I didn't grow there, where could they get that food? So we are doing this really something amazing jobs done by guys.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of we've seen even a red-tailed hawk, a residential red-tailed hawk, come around. Several new bird species have been now kind of living on site.
The big concern is about health issues. It should be so close to the creek. They're scared that imagine the rain so hard, it's gonna be flooded, and it's gonna be like food issues. Like health issues. So contaminate the food and people take it home and eat it. That's the big concern. But I've been here the last 18 years now. I never see San Diego got flood once yet, and especially behind that creek, I don't think it's gonna be flooded at all. That's the big concern. Is the skin at home. If it got flooded, what happens to food? How people gonna still take food home and good to eat, and people gonna get sick out of it. We're gonna pay more money on hospital bill. But that's not the point, though.
Yeah.
So how do you decide who within your community gets a plot? And then are there requirements as to how you're supposed to use it? What I mean by that is, could somebody simply come in and grow their plot to sell? Or are there requirements that they need to have it grown for their own personal use for their own families and any excess? I'm just wondering if I could see how that might be abused.
Actually, so we have 80 families, and we have mostly RC giving us mostly independence. Like we want the leaders and the growers, the farmers to be independent, make their own rules. So what we have, each community have 20 plots. Then I have my waiting of list. I know all of them they don't have chance to get a plot because the piece of land is too small. So what we do, first of all, we have some, and this is the first step we do. You get the plot, and what you pay like $60 for the whole year for a water bill, and then you can grow whatever you want, except illegal something doesn't, you don't want to have problem. So you can grow whatever you want to grow. Nobody's like you can grow this, you can grow it. We don't do that. We don't tell people like that. Well, there's some forms you sign, maybe getting along with the neighbors. America, I don't like to sign paper, liability form like those. But we have to do it, and when you have to sign papers. So you sign paper for the parking structure and how mostly conservation is our key. And this is the time you can water, this is the time you don't have to water, so we don't have to have any complaints and things like that. So. And I still have some waiting list. If somebody say I'm tired, they're moving to another place, then I call the next person on that reason. And we don't want, because we don't have a limit time. We don't have to say like you farm for 1 year and just we kick you out and bring new person. I don't think that's fair. As long as somebody have been utilizing and soil amendment and put their time and money in there, and we don't want that to happen like that. So, and the positive side, we've seen that people say, okay, I have to give to my friend, or now I can do it. So that's how we switch it.
And just to add on that, IRC started it as a pathway for, IRC is a refugee resettlement agency. We originally even kind of started the whole idea also as a pathway to agriculture for many folks who don't have employment. And we saw that maybe there's a fit, that some folks who came from countries where they're agrarian people, they love farming, they have skill in it, and there's an aging population of farmers. Do we have a match maybe here, and we can help facilitate people to jobs? So essentially, the New Roots is also a little bit of, started as like a test kind of site. Get out there. This is the first time people have farmed in a long time. Maybe they thought they liked farming back where they knew it, but here's a little bit different ballgame. So see if you like it still. Do you want to do this? Climate's totally different. There's a lot of different kind of food. Maybe you don't want to be a farmer here in the United States, but that's for them to decide, for people to get that test. Kind of go through it and see if you like it, if you don't. And then we leave it, we see it as an option. Some will want to maybe they're going to a next step. With those who are interested, we've brought them to now access 5 acres of land so they can do a more intense farming program. We have a shortage of local fresh food, and I don't see any reason why we got to stop anybody from producing it locally here. I love it when we are the only stall at the market that can say the food was grown here in City Heights and sold here in City Heights, and the money remains in City Heights. And you can't find that. There's no other place, even and you can't say like, oh, Hillcrest Farmers Market, this was grown in Hillcrest. It was grown in Hillcrest, sold in Hillcrest, and the money stays in Hillcrest. No, it's the only place in town as that example. So we encourage people to sell, but obviously a lot of people needing food for their families first. So 75% of our food does go for home consumption, and only really about 30% is being sold off. For those people who really want to do more of an agricultural venture, they tell me, Amy, I want more land. Give me more land. This 600 square feet, not big enough. Please give me more. So those are the folks that actually we start trying to get them on larger plots of land. So they have kind of the small piece that's close to home, but can we look at bigger plots a little bit further away? Yeah.
First of all, this is fabulous. I have a question about the seed source, because I know that they sell gene seeds in all these seed companies and stuff. So do you worry at all about that?
About genetically modified seeds?
Yeah.
A lot of our people save seed. There's a lot of traditional food sources, especially amongst people like Bob.
Well, to my people, the seed that we take from our homeland is bring it to America, and we cannot change it. Yeah, that's what we do this. And most of the time we said we saving seed, we keep a plant or two, for the seed for next year. So that's what we do. Most of the seed that we growing over there new is the seed that we bring from home, is our own cultured food. So we couldn't find it in America at all. So that's what it is.
And do you find, because it seems like the way that you've got it set up, we have these small pots. That's what creates the pollination, right?
Creates what?
The small pots, and everybody's kind of growing something different, and that's what creates your pollination.
Right.
That keeps those pests down.
Yeah, and on each of those plots, they're all a little bit different too.
Yeah. And then also, is there a way to purchase a video or something? I'm an educator. I want to show this beautiful.
We're still finishing the video, but we'd happy to give you a copy.
Okay.
Or by donation, we can help a farmer. It should be about 15 minutes, so we're still finishing it up.
It's not finished yet, but it's going to show it.
Yeah.
I imagine there are restrictions saying you can't use pesticides or fertilizers. How do these people, I mean, I compost at home because it's just a couple steps from my back door, but how do you get enough compost to do a large plot like that? Does everyone fend for themselves?
Sometimes. We do what's possible. Some take care of it themselves. When I can, we get kind of donations of stuff. And yeah, we're in a continual kind of building soil. Just talking about composting. It's actually a project we'd really like to ramp up. Because I personally have so much faith in how I even got into food was food through waste recycling, and so that's intriguing to me. But we are producing so much food waste here in an urban environment, and we are partnering with a couple businesses, a couple local grocery stores where we're getting their like unprocessed greens, and we are adding them to our compost site. That's illegal, so I didn't really say that. But there's a couple local grocery stores that throw away a good 200 pounds of green waste, unprocessed, and what we do is grab that and we bring it down to the farm and kind of get our compost rocking and add kind of a booster there.
Does that include fruits and vegetables or just greens?
It's mainly, they're selling mainly greens, so we just do that because it's really clean matter, and they produce over 100 pounds a day of it.
Why is it illegal?
The municipal code will not allow you to take someone else's waste to compost on the site, unless it's maybe a city-run certified composting facility. I think it's
not waste.
Yeah.
Rather than changing the rule, change what it is.
Yeah, if you're interested in the policy, 1 in 10 is looking for volunteers because we gotta keep making these policy changes. The urban agriculture thing, there's a lot to discuss about that, and I think they're concerned about rodents or attracting insects, and how to monitor it if it becomes unsightly or a problem, smelly, this kind of thing.
Or the transmission of disease, maybe.
Yeah.
To clarify, is the garden organic now? Or as much as you can?
Yeah, we can try as much as we can, but only if we can get certified organic, so we try the best we can to stay on.
Okay. But also thinking about like the watershed issues and politics of being around a creek and being able to say, yes, we're good.
Yeah, the word organic. The word organic I had when I came to America. And when I had organic, I asked the question, what's organic? Let's say it's a crop that doesn't contain or doesn't use pesticide and things like that. Then I have to ask one question. I say, why do you have to use chemical? And it's a chemical is killing. So we know, like where I come from, we never use chemical. I'm not used to that. So we are using the same traditional growing in the same area. So nobody's using pesticide over there. What we do like natural intercrop, are different crops that the bat doesn't like. So I'm the family taker over there. So I make it with the grower. As I said, if you're having a problem, first if you grow one crop and then the bat like that crop, then you lose. But you grow a little bit of different things. So we know we are not 100% sure how to stop the bats. But I said, just mix the crops. If they eat this one, then you are left with something. And sometimes that works too, because the bats getting confused about the other crops they don't like, and then they run away, they go to other places. Things like that is the best, but we don't think like putting chemical in our crops or pesticide. I never seen that's what's happening to that. And the first thing when we started the garden, this is when what happened. People questioned to me, they came to me and they said, Muya, you see my crops are looking, animals are eating my crops. And this is what I told them, yes. And people, because they are so confused, they're going to the store and they see these beautiful tomatoes, these cucumbers, nothing damaging to them. And that's not the nature I see. Even God could create us like one type of shape of people and one color, but we have short, tall, strong, black, and brown for a reason. That's the nature. The crops, the food we are eating should be the same too. Should be like one ugly looking tomatoes and one fine tomatoes. This one looks funny because they're bad. Those are the things. And the most important things why are the ducks are eating our crops. They know it. They're very smart than us. It's delicious, it's safety, and it's also what? And it's healthy for them. So if the ducks eat my crops, and I will eat that one because I know it's safety for me and it's delicious and it's also it's healthy for me. So if the bug run away from that crop, I will never eat it. So then my grower said, that makes sense now. People are encouraging me. You see it's looking ugly and they eat in front of me. I said, that's healthy and safety and delicious. So we don't do pesticide.
Is there a fence around the property?
It is.
Yes, that's part of the code that it's required.
Like chain link or?
Yeah, it was a big discussion, and because there was also this confusion. Again, we're like giving them a lot of trouble because they haven't had to deal with this. When you're up against a creek, you need to put a wooden like 4 feet fence. The one, if you've ever been to the garden at the Tijuana River Community Garden, they have like this wooden slat. So they got really confused because we're in 2 different zones. So mostly they were saying we got to put a chain link, but then they got confused because then they're saying the back is supposed to be a wooden fence because it's an environmental area. So, you know, we're kind of pushing the boundaries of creating these new systems. But it ended up, they decided now 1 chain link. So it wouldn't make any sense to
Does that
have.
keep the rabbits out or?
No. Doesn't.
Believe it or not, we got a lot of those problems. If you can't have us, please.
Now need an owl. Yeah, we'll take one more question.
Do you share other things as well, like tools, I'm wondering, or you mentioned maybe a little bit before if somebody has extra. I'm just wondering how the sharing goes on between the families and the different cultures and things.
Las compartimos entre nosotros. Hay así. Y las compra.
Buy the tools
Y las compartimos entre nosotros.
and they share, like they're the tool shed and they share the tools.
Hay una casita ahí donde vamos y las colocamos. Cuando ya las usamos, las limpiamos y las ponemos ahí.
When they're done using the tools, they wash the tools and they put in the tool shed.
Y si otro la necesita, se la lleva, así que las compartimos.
If another person needs it, they take it. And that's how we share the tools.
So thank you all for coming, and if you can stick around, Bilal Muya is our keynote. We gotta get him over to there, and he's a fascinating character. So I really appreciate you come here more. He's very inspiring, and he's gone through an amazing journey throughout his still young age, and he's got more to go.
One more thing, the garden will be open from sunrise to sunset, so anytime you want to drop by, please, yeah. Any day, 7 days a week, from sunrise to sunset.
What is the address again, or where is it located?
54th and
54th Unit. It's about a block and a half from Kmart to the right-hand side.
Just go down University 54, turn right and left.
Leah Street. It actually doesn't have an address. So
Yeah,
Okay, well, thank you.